Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Soul Speak. I am your host, Emily Miller, intuitive guide and healer. All right, so this week we are going to talk about a really enlightening concept, one that I live my life by every single day. And it is a concept that I use so much because it is probably, I think, one of the first things that I learned in the spiritual world, aside from being able to use intuition, was the idea that we live in an inside out world. So, for my pretty much entire life, maybe up until I'd say my mid 20s, I never really first took the time to understand how the world worked because I was a teenager and a young adult, and we're not worried about those things at that age typically. Unless you're here listening to this podcast, then good for you. I'm so happy you are here. But whenever we are younger, we're just kind of living in our own world. We don't have a lot of worries. We don't have a lot of things that are bogging us down unless they are immediately affecting our lives. So I never took time to contemplate the world around me unless I was in church or something and I was probably arguing with the Sunday school teacher. Who knows? So the idea that we live in an inside out world is something that is fairly new to me in, my span of my lifetime. So I always thought before that whatever I did would get to other people, for other people, in changing things in my environment or changing things in my exterior, like my way, my appearance, the way that I looked, the way that I talked, the way that I acted to other people, that if I changed those things, then other people would respond to me in the way that I wanted. So I would dress a certain way to get the attention from whomever I was looking for it from, whether it be, males or friends or parents even. So thinking about why you choose to dress a certain way, wear your hair a certain way, even with the things that we say, the way that we speak, a lot of times people will change the way that they talk in accordance to who they are around, which is human nature. We pick up all of the, quirks and things and ways that people speak of the people around us. And it's, meant to be that way in a survival type of thing, to where we are always wanting to fit in wherever we are, because we used to have to fit in with people, thousands of years ago to be a part of the tribe. Because if we weren't a part of the tribe, then we probably would die because we wouldn't get to eat, or we wouldn't be protected, or we needed all these other people for our literal survival. And those things are still very deep within our DNA, that we as human beings have to be liked by the tribe in order to stay alive, to be protected from the lions and tigers and bears, and have hunters and gatherers and providers and, people to help us. We don't need that per se today. While it's nice to have people to help us, it's not necessary. There's so many innovations around that change the way that we live. It's not necessary to be liked by the tribe, but it's still buried really deep within us that we need to have that acceptance. And so a lot of times we'll change the way that we behave, whether it is with our speech, our dress, whatever, all these kinds of things. Even our ideas and opinions will change sometimes in accordance to who we are around. You might go and be around a certain group of friends, and you would think and act a certain way around them. And then you go home to be spending time with your family, and that your parents, expect you to say these things and act this way. And so you kind of do things for them instead of for you. So I lived my life this way for a very, very, very long time. And I never got the results that I wanted. I was constantly seeking outside validation from other people to have them tell me my worth and to have them tell me, you're good enough, you're smart enough, you're pretty enough, you are enough. And I would be seeking that from everyone else. When in reality, and with the way that this world and this universe actually works, is because it is an inside out world, we have to first give those things to ourselves. If we are not giving ourselves all the things that we need, we will never, ever, ever get them from other people. We will never get our dream jobs. We will never get our dream house, our dream car, our dream engagement ring, whatever the things are that you are currently seeking. If you don't first give yourself all those things, no matter who you are around, no matter who the people are, no matter how much they love you, they cannot give you any of those things if you aren't right inside first. So I want to just kind of talk a little bit more about what some of those things are that you want to feel on the inside. And I just said it a moment ago, but it is our value and our worth. And the world is set up right now in a way that there are so many different platforms, and not just like social media platforms, but so many different platforms out there where you are getting external validation to say, hey, I have this, to go and then be worth something, to be valuable. The first thing that comes to mind is a college degree. And it was like beat into my head. You have to have a college degree. I don't care what you do. You can have any job you want after you get a college degree. You can do anything you want as long as you go to college. And I'm so grateful that I had parents who provided me the opportunity to be able to go to college, and that they were people who value education, because it made me the person that I am today. And also, on top of that, gratefulness and the experience and all the things that I learned in college outside of things that were in a textbook, it was an amazing experience for me for multiple different reasons, for growth and for just everything. It was a great experience. But people will tell you, if you don't have a college degree, then you aren't smart. If you don't have a college degree, you can't have these jobs. If you don't have a college degree, then you aren't worth blah, da, 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 because you can't have these things that require it. Okay, so that's one example. Another example is like being on social media. If you have a Snapchat account, a TikTok account, an Instagram account, a Facebook account, whatever those things are, and you put a post up there, immediately what you do is you swipe through and you're like, okay, how many likes did I get? How many follows did I get? Did I get any more people following me from this? Do I have any comments? What are all these other people saying about what I am doing in my life? That is what that is saying. So you're then again seeking out external validation for your value, for your worth. The world is purposefully set up that way, okay? So don't blame yourself and don't think like, oh my God, I've been doing it all wrong, because you're listening to this right now and you're like, kind of beating yourself up of thinking like, oh, I shouldn't have, made college such a priority and made it be something that is so meaningful in my life, or I shouldn't be, watching social media stuff and posting on there and seeking likes. You're just learning this new concept of an inside out world where we have to first give ourselves the validation and finding our own worth in order to get the things that we want in our external environment. So I can just hear people thinking this right now and thinking like, oh my God, I'm doing something wrong. You are not. You are here, you are listening to this, and you're like, okay, this is making sense to me. I love hearing this. And it's making sense to you right now because you know this information. You've heard this in another lifetime. I am like the conduit, the person who is bringing you this information so that you can remember it because you've heard it in another lifetime. It sounds familiar. It feels good. You're like, oh yeah, this is something that is going to make a difference in my life. And so I'm just the person who's bringing this information to you so that it can kind of like waken up your remembrance of this knowledge that we live in an inside-out world. So thinking about the college, thinking about social media, and I've just talked about how we are seeking constant validation from friends, from family, from husbands, from wives, from partners, boyfriends, girlfriends. We are constantly seeking validation from all of those people. And thinking back to like how I used to live my life and the expectations that I had. Okay, all right, I'm going to go get the job. I'm going to wear these clothes. I'm going to get this degree and I'm going to speak this way and I'm going to post all of these things. And then if I do all of these things, then I'm going to get this perfect, magical, beautiful life that is filled with everything that I could ever want and need and desire in my life, because I was told if I checked off all of these boxes and I did all of these things, then I would get the life, right? Wrong. Like, spoiler alert, those check boxes are not going to get you all the things that you want in life. They're going to give you beautiful lessons and they're going to give you lots of wonderful experiences, and they are all very, very, very necessary. But it's not the end all be all. It's not the end of the road. It's not the thing that is the solution to all of your problems. The solution is first being able to see your own value, to see your own worth, to be the person who's giving you all of these things. Because we live in this inside out world, and I've talked about our creator field extensively, and I will talk about it again now, but if we have this inside out world and in our creator field, in our energy, the things that we have written out in our energy that say, I'm not valuable unless I have this. I'm not worthy unless I have this. Whatever those things are that have been put into your brain, into your subconscious brain, thinking that you have to have those things in order to get X, Y, Z. Whatever that little script is that you have written out that was put there by other people, that is what is in your creator field. And so what that in turn does inside, I feel I'm not worthy unless I have all of these things. So the outside world is then going to reflect that. And you will have things that you always feel like you are missing. You will have things that you feel like aren't the way that they should be, aren't the best, aren't the most, in alignment, the things that feel so good. And this can look a lot of different ways. So if we are thinking about all the 8 areas of life, we'll just touch on a few here. But mainly the big one is in family. And remember, family is any person that you live with, like parents who raised you. They don't have to be blood parents. And then also like if you're married or you're living with your partner, they then become your family. As soon as you move in with someone, they're in that family area of life. So if you're not familiar with 8 areas of life, we have 8 areas of life, and our inside out world is reflected through these 8 areas of life. I have a podcast for that if you want to scroll down probably to the very beginning. And there's a little podcast that has a description of all the different 8 areas of life. You can go listen to that one. It's pretty good. So if we are thinking of the family area of life, and let's say that it is for your husband or your wife, okay? And you are not seeing all of your value and you're not seeing all of your worth, and you think that you are missing things, that you have things that because you didn't do A, B, and C, that you are not complete, you're not whole, you're not valuable, you're not worthy. And then your husband or your wife is going to then, or your partner you're living with is then going to pick up on that energy that you're putting out. Because we really care about our husband or our wife or the person that we've chosen to be our life partner, we care about them a lot. So they are going to be the number one person who is going to reflect back to us. They're going to mirror back to us what we are sending out, what's on the inside. They'll be the outside part of it, and they're going to show us how we are feeling on the inside. So that could look also a lot of different ways. One of the ways would be like if a partner was cheating on you, because there are some things that you need within your creator field, that you are whole, that you are valuable, that you are worthy. And if you don't feel that way, then a partner could be seeking those parts of you that you think you are missing from someone else. So they could be looking out and in trying to find that part of you that you don't see as whole in someone else. So that could be a reflection of how that would work out with an inside out way of how that partner who you love and care about is going to have to mirror that back to you. They might also not take you into consideration in the plans that they're making. They might just, go about their daily life and keep moving along as if you're not there. They won't value your opinion. They won't think that you are worthy enough to ask, oh, hey, do you want to do this? Or do you need this? Or even consider anything that you want. So that's a couple of ways that it could show up in your family life, in ways that are very, very big communicators to you. So if you're experiencing any of those things, then that's probably what's kind of going on in your energy right about now, is that you're missing some of these ideas of knowing that you are valuable and you are worthy exactly as you are. So it can also show up with money. If you don't value yourself and see your own worthiness, money can't see it either. So no matter how many college degrees you could have a Yale degree, a Harvard degree, a Stanford degree. You could have one from every top university. But if you don't understand your value and your worth, and you just keep stacking up degrees and stacking up certificates for whatever those things are, you won't ever be able to make the amounts of money and then keep it. That's the key there too. Keep it and grow it, because that's the ultimate goal. We want to be able to have the money and then have it grow within us. We want to show money that we are going to make it better, right? And so if we don't think that we are valuable, then money's not going to see us as valuable, and it's not going to want to come to us, because money is so energetic too. Our money is just showing us how we feel about ourselves. So whatever our money situation is, it's going, and if we feel like we're in lack in some area of that, it's going to show us, it's going to mirror back to us in that inside out way exactly how we are thinking and feeling about our own self. And then let's see, what would be another area of life? We could do social. And so social is all of your friends. And if you don't find yourself valuable, if you don't see the value within you, then your friends aren't going to either. If you are having these feelings of, I'm not good enough, I don't offer anything, I am, missing something within me, then what shows up in them is going to be things like them not inviting you places because they don't find your company valuable, because you don't find your company valuable. They might, so like an example of this actually happened to me with the friend group. I went to dinner with them, like, I don't know, at one point, and they started having a conversation about a concert. And I had literally sent a text message out to this group chat asking if they wanted to go to this concert. And then no crickets. I heard nothing, no replies. Nobody's like, oh yeah, I want to go to this concert. So then we're out to dinner as a group later. And they are sitting there talking about the concert that they went to, that I asked them if they wanted to go to. And I was like, what the heck? I literally, and I didn't even say anything out loud because this was a very different time of my life. And I just sat there and I was like, seriously? They went to the concert without me? Prime example of how this would show up in your life in an inside out world, because I wasn't finding my own self valuable. They didn't even think about inviting me to go to the concert with them. So it's things like that. It's like every single thing that happens in your entire world is all created by you. And once you start taking like real full responsibility with that concept, with this idea that we are in an inside out world, you can start to shift anything, the smallest things to the biggest things. And while it's easier to at first start with some smaller things and then start noticing how good it works there, and then shifting it over to some bigger things, it's like a snowball effect in your life to where all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're like, holy crap. Look at all of these things that I have done. And I did it all by shifting the way that I felt about myself. That is the beauty of this work that I do. The beauty of tapping into your intuition and figuring out exactly what beliefs you are holding on to within you, within your energy, that is creating these instances in your life that you want to change. You can change them. You can change them fairly easily as long as you know what they are, and you can get to that root, to get down to the very bottom of what is planted deep into my creator field that's growing roots out and infecting. It's like a weed, right? These limiting beliefs that we hold on to. They're growing out and they're infiltrating and infecting the whole entire beautiful lawn that somebody has just taken care of. That's not my thing, but we're going to go with this analogy that this root of this icky belief is growing out because I'm just letting it fester and grow, right? Because I don't know how to get rid of this yet. And so we've just, for our entire lives, until now that you know these things, have been letting these icky weeds take reign over our beautiful yard, right? And they're just growing. And until you can get down there to the very root of that problem, dig it out, pull out all the icky weeds, and get rid of it, it's going to stay in your creator field. It's going to project from an inside out way everything in your life that is not desirable. So knowing this is such a gorgeous, gorgeous thing. And knowing that once you start really taking like wild responsibility for the things that are going on in your life and not just being like, ugh, I don't have any control over this. Life is just what it is. And I guess I just have to live like this. And I just have to have these, crappy friends and crappy husband and crappy house and, all these things, which many people do. They just accept it as their reality and they just say, oh, yeah, I guess I got to live this way. This is what cards I was dealt. And then they just, keep living their life in this way that is super unfulfilling. Or you can be here with me learning all of this amazing information that you have control over your life and you can change it. And it is the most beautiful realization in the world. And I am also just like wildly happy that you guys are here listening to this and allowing me to awaken this knowledge within you. So this week, think about your outside world. Think about what are some of the things in your outside world that maybe you aren't loving, that maybe you would like to change, and think about what you are holding onto inside in your creator field. What is within you? What sort of belief could you be holding on to that is creating these instances in your life that aren't great? And then know that if I change them, if I start to change some of these thought patterns, if I start to realize my worth, if I start to see my own value, every other person in my existence has no other choice but to treat me the exact same way I am treating myself. That's a fact. And you will see it. You will start to see how this all changes. Your world will do a complete, 180? When it flips around? Not a 360 because we don't want to go back to where we started. It'll do a full 180. So then you can have this life where you're like, oh my God, I didn't know this was even possible for me. This is so freaking cool. I love this. I love this for me. And it even changes the lives of all the people around you. My husband literally said to me the other day, Emily, it's because of you that our family is able to have and be and do all the things that we are currently doing. I mean, is there a better compliment on the planet than that? There's not. Like, I have goosebumps even just thinking about it. Like, it was that cool. So you guys can have all of that too. And I'm not going to say that life is just, roses constantly. But it's so much easier. Whenever you have these tools, life becomes manageable. And if there are things that pop up that you are like, God, this is not for me, I don't like this, there are ways to change it. And that is the best thing on the planet. So think about that this week. How are you valuing yourself? How are you feeling on the inside? And how is it showing up in your outside world? And remember, I have my free mini reads available on my website. You can go there if you want to get a little insight into what kind of roots do you have growing in your creator field. I can do a little read for you and check in on that. And then I also have a really fun healing that's available on my website. And sign up for the newsletter so that you guys can have access to all the invites for my live webinars where I will be teaching some healing, some intuition, doing live Q&As for you guys to ask whatever you want. So sign up for that on the website and have a gorgeous, gorgeous week.